Okay, we are in Nefesh Hachaim, Shaar Aleph, Perek Vav, and let me refresh your memory, and I think that there's a very important chidush here, which needs to be said on a very deep level. But what happens inside, what happens in Pshat, is that the first 5 prokim of Nefesh Hachaim, the Reb Chaim Volozhin explains how the power of Adam, in other words, ad kadei kach, to put it in a sentence, that Adam is Yoshev al Kisei HaKavod. That's what Yecheskel Hanavi said, that he me'ala Kisei Adam. So it's ad kadei kach that the world works in its Elamis. Reb Chaim Volozhin explains, Atzilos Bria, Yitzir Asiya, we live here in Asiya, and Asiya is being controlled by Yitzira, and Yitzira is being controlled by Bria, and Bria is being controlled by Atzilus. And all the way in the top of the Kisei HaKavod of the Bria is the Kisei HaKavod, which sounds like it's Hashem's chair. But Yecheskel Hanavi says, no, it's not Hashem's chair, that's the Kisei Adam. Not the Adam us, but Adam, the Neshama Koli, the Adam HaKadmon, is there. So it's Ad Kedei Kach, Perek Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Daled, Hey, that the Adam, the Pen Adam, is standing on top of the world and controlling everything from down here, like you're holding the remote on your TV, like in other words, it's you have the total control. So that puts us in a very, very powerful position. And then Perek Vav, he makes like a turnaround, and he says that, but don't think, Amnam Hadayin Ha'inyan Tzarech Be'ir, he says in Perek Vav, and he says it's for sure that I'm just skimming over this it's for sure that Reb Chaim Vital, who says this all, quotes Reb Chaim Vital earlier, who Megala Teva, who Mechasa Al Payim Amma. He's just telling us a little bit of it, and it's not so pashut at all, says the Nefesh Hachaim. Why is it not so pashut? It's not like, this is like an about face. It's not like that we push a button by putting on tefillin or by speaking Divrei Torah or whatever we're doing. It's not like all of a sudden the whole world changed. I mean, the Metzias shows that he's correct. You see plenty of suffering in the world, even though there are tzaddikim there's always lamed vav tzaddikim doing mitzvahs, and we're doing mitzvahs, everybody's doing mitzvahs, but not everybody, but so you could argue it could be worse, whatever, but it's not like, these lamed vav tzaddikim that he talks about before are kind of pushing buttons and making sure that the whole world is programmed perfectly and everything is going well. It's not always going so well, at least to the way we see it. So the Nefesh Hachaim says that don't think that that's the way it goes. We don't have such a direct control over the Bria. At best, we have an influence over the Bria. And he goes on to explain, which is what I want to get into here, and he brings rayas to this. The Mefarshim, like the Mefarshim, I'm talking about the Gedolim Mefarshim on the Nefesh Hachaim, like Rabbi Weintraub and Rav Volba, they say, I wouldn't have the guts to say it, but they say that the Nefesh Hachaim's rayas, that it's not true, meaning that the first 5 prokim are not exactly true, he says are weak rayas, meaning you can learn it this way, you can learn it that way. As Rav Volba writes, he says, I saw quoted by Reb Leifner, that they're weak rayas, meaning it's not like we say Kaddish, 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 and the Malachim say Kaddish, Kaddish, Kaddish. Why? He brings a raya because you see in the davening, Kulam Kedusha. What's the lashon over there? That we all say Kedusha and then they say Kedusha, but it's Mashma Bazach or Zah. It's not like a direct hit. But Elamai, he wants to bring out a point. In other words, I don't know if he's saying Misvar or from even a deeper knowledge than what the Svar is, that a person doesn't have this kind of a koach. So I said politically, which is not my derech, but I said it anyway. I said politically that this Perek Vav here is a polemic against the. I hope I'm not offending anybody, but it's a polemic against the sort of tales of the Baal Shem Tov. Meaning, you go to the tzaddik, and the tzaddik pushes a button for you, and boom, the whole world, darkness becomes light, and seas split, and Moshe Rabbeinu had to work very hard to split the sea. From the way that it was given over, the koach of tzaddikim. So yes, there's such a thing for sure as a tzaddik goyzer v'akadosh baruch hu makayim, but it's not such an automatic thing. And I think that he was worried. I think that the reason he writes this paragraph, I'm just saying my own svar. It might be right, it might be wrong. The reason he's saying this svar is that there could be some massive disappointment and mistake made by thinking that you go to some makubal and boom, like you're healed, no more cancer. You go to some makubal and the blind person sees. So other religions work that way, but that wasn't our derech. But why not? If the pshat is that a person is Yosef Me'alak, he said, like Yechezkel Hanavi said, so why not? So here he has a Hagah, and this is where we're holding.
You said Rav Volozhin disagrees?
No, Rav Volozhin says that Al Karchach, the Nefesh Hachaim wanted to bring out a Yesod.
So he agrees with the Yesod but doesn't agree with the proof?
He says he's bringing proofs, but it's like a smachta b'alma. They're proofs, but you can learn the proofs this way, you can learn the proofs that way. But in other words, he had an agenda here. The Nefesh Hachaim had an agenda. It was a very holy agenda to say that this is not exactly the way it is. And he explains, let me say it outside first, he explains because where do we say that the person has the Adam has total control over the Bria? That's talking about Adam koydem achet. Before we ate from the Eitz Hadas, Toiv v'Ra, so then, in Achanami, we had complete Adam Yoshev ala Kisei, we had complete control. But once we ate from the Eitz Hadas, we don't have that control anymore. Why not? It's not an oynish. It's not an oynish. But what happens is as follows. I'm saying Piksar, and then I want to show you inside. What happens is that when we ate from the Eitz Hadas, Toiv v'Ra, which Agav, the Ramban points out, was not what Hashem called it. He didn't call it the Eitz Hadas Toiv v'Ra. That was the Nachash and Chava that said that. He just said, Me'etz b'toich hagan loy soichel. That's all Hashem said. They added already pshat. Once we ate from the Eitz Hadas Toiv v'Ra, what happened? So what happened was we took that which was Ra and we were mafnim. We internalized it. Now, in other words, before, we all know this, before, this is like Yeshiva Shareit already. Before the Eitz Hara, there was the Eitz Hara, but Hara we ate from the Eitz Hadas. There must have been the Eitz Hara. But the Eitz Hara was out there. Like Lashon Nefesh Hachaim is Ka'adam shenichnas l'toicha eish. There's a fire burning over here. I have a choice whether I want to walk into the fire. I don't have to walk into the fire. I have a choice. But it's b'chutz, the eish is there, I'm here, and I'm not going to walk into the fire. But once I internalize it, so it's not like the eish is there, this is all about me now. It's all internalized, it's all within me. So now, what I did was, with the Eitz Hadas, not just I created Bechira Chavshis, which is the way it's normally said, like I took the Eitz Hara, now I've got this inside of me someplace, some Eitz Hara, some spiritual organ called the Eitz Hara. It's what happens is, now I have within me Toiv v'Ra. I ate from the Eitz Hadas Toiv v'Ra. So before I get into that, what that means, I have within me Toiv v'Ra. There's a negative, there's an evil part within us. But since I ate from the Eitz Hadas Toiv v'Ra, so now, how can I say, this is Nefesh Hachaim's argument here, how could I say me, this mixture of Toiv v'Ra, how could I say that when I do something, I do a mitzvah, it's totally Toiv, if I'm an Irvuv of Toiv v'Ra? How many people, as his Lashon is, that kimat loy shaykh, that's his Lashon. I'll just read you a little bit. V'gam tzadik gamur, in this book, if you have this volume, it's on page 8. V'gam tzadik gamur, shemiyamav lo yasa shum ma'isa asher loy toiva. Complete tzadik, mamash tzadikol. Never did a thing bad in his life. Lo sach miyamav shum sicha kala. Never spoke anything which wasn't Torah. Or sicha kala asher loy toiva chas v'shalom. Im kol zeh, look at the sentence. B'chol zos, kimat bilti efsher klal shemaisim hatoivim atzmam. It's almost impossible. Kimat. He doesn't say it's impossible, but it's almost impossible. Shemaisim hatoivim atzmam kol yimei chayiv yekulam b'shleimus ha'amiti l'gamri. I can't be pure good. Why? Because I ingested the Eitz Hadas Toiv v'Ra. So even this tzaddik, the biggest tzaddik, which most of us are not, never spoke a sicha kala miyama, never did an avera, there's still some Ra in there because we're still told of, so what's the Ra? The Ra is, it's not for Shleimus Gomer. There's a little bit of ego in there. There's a little bit of Lo Lishma. It's almost impossible to say that there shouldn't be in any of his words some external aspect to it. Now it sounds tough, right? It sounds like, well, what do you want from us? Nothing. Nothing. He doesn't want anything from us. He's just saying that's what's normal. It's not like say to like oh, you had a kavanah shalei lishma. Maybe you should never have a kavanah shalei lishma. But that's not his point. His point is not that we should never have a kavanah shalei lishma. There should never be any ego. We're people. But what he's saying is that how can you say that a person's maisa is so pure that so when do we say the person, the Adam is Yoshev ala Kisei and he's manipulating like a piano keys the entire Bria? That's talking about a person who tulay toy. Because the only way that the Maisa is the Maisa which can manipulate, the kind of Maisa that can manipulate the world is a Maisa which is 1,000% pure. But the minute that there's some kind of an irvuv of Toivara, as he says, even the biggest tzaddik in the world has some type of an irvuv of Toivara, probably kimat, mashma that there is such a thing. Why do I say, why am I emphasizing this? Because the Gemara says that there were 4 people that never did a chet. Arba mesu be'etya shel nachash. 4. And it wasn't even Moshe Rabbeinu, it wasn't even one of the 4. So Yishaya v'David, if I say, like, Doye, I mean, the Arba the absolute pure motives is kimat not shaykh. And therefore, we don't have the power of manipulation. So if a person thinks that I'm going to go to this tzaddik, and he can pull it off, of course he can pull it off better than I can pull it off. And of course there's more purity than I have. But to say that he's mamish controlling, he's got the switchboard, that you can't say. And this is a bit disappointing, but you know what? It deepens our understanding. It doesn't make it worse, because this idea of just go to the tzaddik and push the button becomes something which becomes a little bit karav avodah zarah in the sense I'm not calling anything avodah zarah, but in the sense that in a way you're leaving HaKadosh Baruch Hu out of it. What you're saying is
a machine that can be
activated. Program it. You're the programmer, so program it. So it becomes a very. Do tzaddikim have a koach? Do rabbis have a koach? Do mekubalim have a koach? Of course they do. But to say that it's a me'ach plus kacha is implying that there's no tov v'ra at all.
Why would they have any influence unless they are completely pure? And since they aren't completely pure, why should a tzaddik have any more influence?
I'll tell you what I think the answer to that is. I mean, why should I have any influence at all?
Yeah. Say the question again.
In other words, if everything has a shaloi lishma in it, what's the point of going to a tzaddik at all? Or becoming a tzaddik in terms of, you have to become a tzaddik because Hashem wants us to become tzaddikim, not so we should change the breed. That's first of all. But why b'chlal? No, but why did Esav and Yaakov want a bracha from Yitzchak? Yitzchak wasn't one of those that was based at Yishal Nachash. Interesting. We're the biggest tzaddikim in our minds in our history. Like apparently. There was this irvuv of Torah. They were also told us yet the bracha of Yaakov to his banim was perfect. So the Zohar says it like this. He says that this is a chiddush, that the Torah is, there's 2 ways of looking at it. This is mamish mefurish in the Zohar and gracious. There's 2 ways of looking at it. One is that every single thing I do is Torah, or I'm like a cherav hamisapeches lashon, the Ramban. Like I can be lishma for a second, and the next second I'm shaloi lishma. Which incidentally, while I'm here, is it's not there could be in there a lishma, but it's not kulay lishma. There's a piece of it shaloi lishma. I'll give you an example of this in the halacha. The Gemara says himself that hanoisek tzedakah al manashi yichya b'nei harei tzaddik gomer. So I'm giving tzedakah with an ulterior motive. Al manashi yichya b'nei. It's mamish our case. Like here, I'm giving tzedakah, and that means I'm pushing a button. Now it doesn't say there in the Gemara that his son lived. Lokatu that it worked, but it is mashma from the Gemara. 2 things. Number 1 is that that's a thing to do. Give tzedakah to somebody, and also it's mashma from the Gemara. Harei tzad not mashma. It says in the Gemara harei tzad gomer. So you have to say that a person is capable of having 2 kavanas. One is pure and one is impure. Halavai, that should be the impurity. What?
Why is it impure if they're asking for?
It's not lishma. I'm doing this as soon as I'm doing, because I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why. Because a person says, why am I doing mitzvahs? Why am I giving tzedakah? So as soon as I say because X, it's right away there's some element to shalai lishma. I'm giving tzedakah because Hashem said to give tzedakah. The minute I'm saying I'm doing it to purify my soul, I'm doing it to get on a higher madrega, I'm doing it, I'm an ashich yibni, I'm doing it, as soon as there's anything other than, I'm giving tzedakah like because Hashem said to give tzedakah, so there's an element to shalai lishma. Halavai shenagil is that, but tzaddik gamur is completely lishma. So you could say according to the Zohar that, why do I drink a cup of coffee when I wake up in the morning? Many reasons. It wakes me up. I daven better. I also enjoy it. It's also warm. It also makes my body work better. Like, there's many reasons. One doesn't cancel out the other. But you can't say, like the person, like Mishabura says, if it's coming to be mechazik your tefillah, you're allowed to drink the coffee. I drink coffee. I'm not a tzaddik governor. But if I'm doing it, so who could say, I'm just saying, who could say that's 100% my kavanah, I just want to be able to daven better? Who could say such a thing? Which tzaddik can say such a thing? Say that's one of my kavanahs. So if I feel that that's one of your kavanahs, so then you have a bit of a koach and shemayim. I hear. But to say that it's like a machine, you can program it and it goes, that you can't say. But let's take it a step. Do you want to say something?
So let's say you give tzedakah to a needy person. You do it totally lishma, and you can tell they're like completely grateful, happy, and you feel a little bit of gratitude that you're able to do this, or happiness you're able to help this person. Does that decrease or diminish the?
I believe it does.
Right,
I saw I was looking like just recently, the last few days. I was looking in Rav Leifster. So I got a hold of his Nefesh. He wrote a pirush on the Nefesh Hachaim based on the chaburas of Rav Volozhin. So he writes. I just thought we were learning Nefesh Hachaim ready for boats, but I just happened to come across this thing. So he writes there the Hakdama that after he went through the whole chabura for Rav Volba, every Nefesh Hachaim be'iyun, so he went over to thank him, and Rav Volba told him something like, I don't have the Lashon in front of me, but something like, "Don't thank me, you're ruining the whole thing."
So.
Yes. So the answer is no, but I'm not saying. But don't. I want to make it 100% clear. I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel good when you do a mitzvah, because we're human, and I think if we don't feel good when we do a mitzvah, then we're not going to do mitzvahs. I think it's like itself. He hates Shaar. So what I am saying, what he's saying, not I'm saying, is that Beseder, it's Beseder, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give you a lot of credit for it, and we'll go to Olam Haba, and even we'll have schusim from it. But don't think that it's 100% lishma, insofar as now you can now manipulate the bria. You're not God. And the minute you want to manipulate the bria, that's good for shaloi lishma. The minute the tzaddik says, "Okay, I'll help you," it's good for shaloi lishma. Does that mean tzaddikim can't help you? They can. But but it shouldn't. Let's say it doesn't work. There's a million factors. There's a million factors of why it wouldn't work. Maybe he was having a bad day with shaloi lishma that second. Maybe I'm having a bad day and I wasn't the right kli for the kli kibul for the bracha. There's so many different factors that it's superficial to think. So what's left for us? Daven HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what's left for us. And I think like if you learn a lot of Nefesh Hachaim, I'm not a Bucky, but I did go through the whole sefer with Rav Scheinberg, and I did go through the whole sefer with Rav Hutner. So I have a shtickle, a mahalach in it. The mood of it is, the mood of the sefer is, and that's why he's always called a misnagid, even though I don't think he was a misnagid. But the mood of it is that don't forget about HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the whole cheshbon, because the essence of being a religious, God-fearing Jew is Eved Hashem. Moshe was Eved Hashem. Basof. The last words, the final description of Moshe Rabbeinu, Bayamos Moshe Eved Hashem. Eved, nothing for himself. And Moshe Rabbeinu had to be Anivus. But it doesn't mean that he was like that his whole life. It doesn't mean when he killed the Mitzri, I'm not saying anything about Moshe Rabbeinu, I don't want to have nightmares tonight, but it doesn't mean when he killed the Mitzri that there wasn't some kind of, indignation, or even, when a person stands up like for civil rights, It's also a bit of a shaloi l'shma. It's like even when you're standing up, it's a cause that I believe in. And so he went to become the greatest tzaddik in history. And nobody's questioning it, and that was a good start. But it wasn't it yet. He wasn't there yet. He wasn't having Kabbalah Torah yet. I mean, it wasn't called Niyanim Mikol Adam yet. But it was. So the idea is not to knock it. I'm not knocking the Shaloi Lishma. I'm just saying that. So this all comes from the Irvuv of Tov V'Ra. Now let me just take a minute and explain something which I think is very deep. Give me a minute, Moshe. Okay. The Ramban says, I brought it with me because I want to see the Lashon. The Ramban at the beginning of Bereshis, not the beginning of Bereshis, but where he talks about the Eitz Hadas, and he says, "Be'etz Hadas Tov V'Ra." Abraham Mefarshim. Listen, I want to learn with this. The Ramban is not an easy thing, so follow with me carefully. Abraham Mefarshim, says the Ramban, Ki haya piryoi moiled taivas hamishkal. That by eating the Eitz Hadas, all of a sudden we had a man developed at this moment a sexual taiva. Again, is that a bad thing?
The life of that.
Chur. I mean, you see, the Anshek Knesset Agdola Davening should go away. The whole world started falling apart. So we go, okay, Davening should go back. Yeah. V'lachein, say the Mefarshim, kisu me'aru mehem. All of a sudden they felt naked. When they ate from the Eitz Hadas, Tov V'Ra, they felt naked. Now, I'm just asking here, a room full of intelligent people, what happened psychologically? What happened that what happens to a person that all of a sudden I have the midas habusha where I don't want to walk around the street without my clothes on? Babies do it. Little baby, 1 year old, walk outside if you don't stop him with his clothes off sometimes. I mean, there's a point. Like where's your midas habusha? Right? So what happens? What is the nakuda here that changes? Say the Mefarshim, it's not the Ramban, who brings the Mefarshim. This was the Eitz Hadas Tov V'Ra. The Midas Habusha, before that, what's our? And it comes from Eitz Hara. It comes from Taivas HaMishkal, he says. V'hevi'u lo daima b'lashon zeh mimaimer Barzili Hagilati. You know who that was? What? David HaMelech was fighting with his son Avshalom in Shmuel Beis. When he was fighting with his son Avshalom, so there was somebody Barzilei Giladi, which the Tanakh endorses as the Gadol Hador. It says he was a Gadol, he was a Chacham, he was an old man. It says before there he was 80 years old, which in those days was considered an old man. And he helped David HaMelech. So when David HaMelech was settled in Yerushalayim, so he wanted to take care of him. I'll take care of you, I'll give you food, I'll make sure you have shelter, you don't have to think anymore, you don't have to worry about it. That was Barzili Hagiladi. Barzili Hagiladi refused the help he declined, David HaMelech. And this was his Lashon. The Lashon, he said, Ha'eda ben toiv l'ra. He said, he goes, I'll tell you what the whole passage says. I'm an old man, ben shmoinim honey. I'm going to just be a burden on the king if you're going to have to take care of me. Apparently he was like serious taking care of. It wasn't just send him a check. It was serious. So he said, I'm an old man. It's going to be hard to take care of me. I'm going to be a burden on the king. And what am I going to do anyways for you? It's not like I'm still going to be a consultant for you. Because ha'eda ben toiv l'ra, do I even know ben toiv l'ra? Such an odd sentence for him to say. Ha'eda ben toiv l'ra, Mefarshim Rashi al makom, brings from Chazal, that he was paraphrasing Bereshis, where it says that the Eitz Hadas Tov V'Ra, which, as I said, was the Lashon of Chava and the Nachash, not the Lashon of Hashem. So he says, what was he saying? He was saying that I'm beyond the Eitz Hadas. What does it mean to be the beyond the Eitz Hadas? It means das. If I don't have any feel for an Avera anymore, I just don't have time for Avera. I don't have any taivas any longer. I don't have any. What am I going to do for you? Well, why not? It's nice. Time to cover. Give me a bracha. What's the problem? So the Mefarshim bring that from the lashon of ha'eda ben taiv l'ra ki batlo mimena hataivahi. What he was saying, and this needs to be understood. Why should you not take care of me because I became a tzaddik? But what he was saying, to me, Pashut of Shah, he was saying I'm otherworldly. I'm not somebody, I can't, to put it in our language, I can't relate to what you're going through, what the people are going through. I'm not an advisor. I'm like in a different world. You know, like I've met tzaddikim like that. You know, Berel. It's like they were, you know, the Mishnah says in Pirkei Avos that Ben Meah, like, you know, Ben Chomesh L'Mikra, Ben Shishim L'Zikna, Ben Meah ka'avaru batel min ha'olam. So in Yiddish there's an over batel, you know, avaru batel min ha'olam. But it's a good thing. It's a bad thing. It's a good thing because like I'm not in this world any longer. Avar ubatal min ha'olam. Like I don't have any taivas any longer. I don't have any. What do I have at 100 years old already? I'm just here, you know. So he said, "What am I going to do for you at this stage?" Says the Ramban, "Ve'nenu nachay netzli." That's not the pshat. Bavor shamar ve'yisim kelihim yodei toivara. How could you say it's a chesaron to be yodei toivara? Didn't the Nachash have any emes in it at all when he said you'll be like God? Mashma that Hashem is your day of Toiva. So how could you say you can't say Hakadosh Baruch Hu about Taiva? How can you say this pshat? Says the Ramban. Unbelievable Ramban. V'im Toiva kacheshla hinei vayomer Hashem Elokim heina adam haya kachad mimenu ladas Toiva. Right? Hashem said, man became like kachad mimenu ladas Toiva. So he says, skipping a little bit, Vayofa Beina. Listen to this pshat of the Ramban. So it's so important. Adam Arishain, remember the question I just asked. What happened to Adam that he felt naked all of a sudden? Makarala. So he says as follows. Hayofa Beina. This is what seems nice to me. Ha'adam haya oise b'tiva masharoi lasos kefi ha'toilados. Hasher yasu hashemayim v'chol tzvam poilei emes shepulasam emes v'lo yishanu es tafkidam. Right? We said Kiddush Levana last week. Kiddush Levana we said poil emes shepulasam emes. You look at the sun. The sun doesn't have a day that it's angry. It doesn't have a day that it's melancholy. It doesn't have a day that I don't feel like getting up today. Right? I don't feel like getting up today. Okay. Hello, the whole world's waiting for you. Nope. I'm going to abandon you. No, so it doesn't happen. Why? Shepoil emes, shepulasei emes, lo yishanu es tafkida. Baruch Hashem, right? What the Gemara says, Baruch Kechama. What the Gemara means to say, Baruch Kechama. The rest of that sentence is that gets up. And you could even in Hilchos Muksa, there's a smichus das to the fact that the sun's going to get up in the morning, and your das is already there, so that if something is ben hashmash is going to be dried by the sun, it's already dry in your das. It's not even Muksa ben hashmash. It's not kedegah. Right? Why? Shlo yishanu es tafkida. Adam before the chet was like the sun. You give it a tachlis, do your tachlis. What's your tachlis? Puravu, make people. You're the CEO here. Be sholeit on the gan, lo avda, lo shamra. You had a lot of jobs. It's not a bad.
But it sounds like there's no bechira there.
No bechira. No bechira. Could be the sun has some level of bechira too, but it's not going to do it. Otherwise, why would we praise it? We're praising the moon from the second Kiddush Levana. It could be to some level of bechira, but it was very, very bachutz. A person was like the sun. Kodam achet. It says, "Oise b'tivay masharoy lasos kefi atelados, ve'ein lahem b'maseim ahava oisina." The sun and the moon, they have no love, they have no hate. Upri ha'ilan hazeh, what happened with the fruit of this tree? Hayamoyled haratzayim. All of a sudden a new concept was introduced into the Bria called Ratzon. It's a holy thing. But Ratzon was introduced with the Eitz Hadas. Va'achefet sheyivkru oichlav b'davarei b'hafchai l'toiv l'ra. All of a sudden, I have to choose between toiv and ra. I have to choose about. L'chein nikra Eitz Hadas toiv v'ra. Ki hadas, says the Ramban, yoimer b'lshaneinu al haratzon. Das, read ratzon. Did you ever think that way? Das means what? Chibur. Or knowledge, or Kabbalistically that which is Mechaber, the Chesed and the Gevura. Chachma, Bina, Das. You know, Das is Ratzon. All those things are Ratzon. All those things are Ratzon. Kil Shainam Lai Shanu, he brings Gemaras. The Gemara says again, Daitoi Lachsor. He plans on coming back. What does it really mean? Like a guy goes the Medina Sayyam, so can the wife be considered Naguna? Or Daitoi Lachsor is Ratzon. Daitoi Lefanoisoi. Lashon HaKosem Ma'odam V'teida Eyu Tachbais V'tirtzabai. Das, he says, everywhere you look means Ratzon. Intention. That's Ratzon. Deep Ratzon. A deep. Yidaticha b'shem. That's why Agav just says, whenever it talks about a holy matrimony, it's about Yada ha'adam eschav yishra. Whenever you see Yada referring to intimacy, it means it's not mechanical, it's not robotic, it's not just for the sake of procreating, which in our minds is kind of like disgusting, right? It's like, but maybe it's holier. Maybe it's holier. Like the Gemara says, "Kekafay shade." Maybe it's even holier. But that's beli ratzon. The yada is beratzon. Yada is beratzon. V'chein maimer Barzili. Now look at Barzili Hagiladi in Shmuel Beis. Ha'eda ben toiv l'ra. What he was saying was, she'avad mimenu koyach harayon. Like how you boicher bedavar v'lei kurtzba. I'm not choosing anything. I don't. What he's saying is, I don't have any longer. You're taking care of a machine. I no longer have. This is what he was saying about himself in his old age. By the way, just because he was saying it doesn't mean it was true. He was saying that you're. What am I going to do for you? I don't have a koach bechira anymore. I don't have any ratzon any longer. I don't have. You know what we call somebody today who has no ratzon? Depressed. He would eat without tasting. He would listen, listen to music and have no joy to that music. I'm listening to music. You're trying to think of somebody who's like a total intellectual listening to music. Wow, that's a good note. Hush of a note, you know, like it's not. Where's the regesh? Where's the ratzon? So when Adam and Chava were born or created, there was no taiva. Meaning no taiva, they were robots. I mean, they were robots, but they were robots like the sun and the moon. They did only good. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It was. Aval be'esa. You see, whenever we learn about this, we say, "Thank God that he said us." But I just point out, it's life would have been different, obviously. All of the confusion and the struggling that we do, not just that we do personally in our lives to get through today, but that the world does with ego and wars and all of that won't be there. Wouldn't have been there. All of that wouldn't have been there. It's just like the sun works. That's all. Or like animals work. Animals work the same way. They don't have they have taiva obviously, but they're not.
That's the impression I get when you say we should do things only lishma, like giving tzedakah. There's no good feeling.
I said no. I didn't say
right.
that.
You said so afterwards. Right. That it's okay to feel good.
I didn't say we should do things totally shema. I said we don't do things totally lishma. That's
right.
what I said. Yeah.
Wouldn't they have the clarity to see the ra within the nachash? If they were kulotov?
So their clarity was that we can get to a higher madrega. The clarity that they had was, we could be more like Elokim. We're B'Tselem Elokim, we could be more like Elokim. And that's what the Nachash gave them a frum cheshbon. That, you can worship Hashem on this level, or you could even worship Hashem on this level by what? Being Yodea Tov V'Ra. So Yodea Tov V'Ra, by taking the struggle and bringing it inside. Now, this is the Aval Beis Ha'ilada Hayuevarim Kulam Beineim Kipanim Vayadayim V'Lo Yisbashashu Mehem. It didn't make any difference to Adam and Chava L'Chatchila, the difference between their heads and their sexual organs, because they're just all functional. You ever find a computer that's ashamed of its mouse? It's like not a. It's a like or don't look at my CPU. Even animals don't have that busha. So what makes the busha? What makes the busha that all of a sudden they felt it's so deep? The Chumash is so deep. What makes the busha that made them feel all of a sudden that they're naked? Was that they had a ra in them, and now that they had a ra in them, so they had a rutzon, taiva. So the Ramban is arguing with the Mefarshim, but it's a very dakistic argument, because what he's saying is, they're saying is, okay, ate from the Eitz Hadas, we got taivos, we got Yetzer Hara. Okay? He says, no, it's not the pshat. We didn't get Yetzer Hara, we got rutzon. Das.
And that's the reason why they were suddenly embarrassed.
You're right.
Because they had a rutzon.
Because they had a rutzon. So the rutzon,
But it sounds
it's just so unbelievable. Like it's so beautiful when you think about it. That beautiful. I mean, but if I'm embarrassed from somebody or something, it means that I have some rutzon there. That's not a bad thing. But
it sounds like a good thing.
it's a good thing.
Like,
So let me tell you two things, and then I will.
My baby has rutzon to eat. He doesn't have the busha. So
He doesn't have a rutzon to eat. He has a function to eat. The body automatically wants to eat. He's not saying, I want tomatoes today. I want milchiks. I want fleshes. He's eating what you're giving him to eat. And the older he gets, goes from nursing to eating, the older he gets, the more rutzon he gets. But, so when the Yetzer Hara, so the Chumash says, Yetzer Leiv Ha'adam, Ra Nu'ura. Or does it say that after the Mabul? And what that means is that Hashem said, what's the point of keeping on destroying the world until we get it right? Man ate from the Eitz Hadas. And once he ate from the Eitz Hadas, so Yetzer Leiv Ha'adam, Ra Minura. There's Ra is here. Meaning the Ratzon is there, so what's the difference? What am I going to do? Destroy the world again? Another Mabul? It's the same thing's going to happen again and again and again. It's like I always tell people, like people that get married, they made a mistake. Like I married the wrong person. They get divorced. So then they go get married again. They usually make the same mistake again. And again, and again, and again. Because what changed? Unless they really strike a lucky and they marry somebody by accident, the wrong person. But the pshat is that how horrible my husband was. He's an abuser. You still need to ask yourself, well, why was I attracted to an abuser, and why do I stay there? I was to say something personal. Personal is once I say it, it was personal. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with probably one of the smartest people I know, who's a psychologist. So we're talking about a certain struggle. We just got into this conversation. He's writing a book, and I publish books. And I was talking about he's writing a book on struggling. So I was telling you like a certain struggle that I'm going through. So he says to me, "Yeah, but he says, don't forget, you enjoy struggling and suffering." Oh, I do. It wasn't like a psychological trick. In other words, like he says, I don't know why. He says, like maybe your Hashem is stronger, maybe you daven better, maybe it's like a deadline's a man's best friend. Nobody wants one, but the stress actually gets you moving. Athletes put themselves in this kind of a situation on purpose. They cause pain. It's not necessarily for you such a bad thing that you should be fighting. It could be the struggle is it could be for you no struggles and no suffering. It's hell. I don't know if it's true about me or not. I don't want to go there right now, but there's certainly such a concept. So so somebody gets married, divorced. There's got to be a piece in there of counseling to figure out like what went on, and make sure you don't make something's got to change. Otherwise, the same mistake's going to repeat itself. People go bankrupt once, they go bankrupt the second time, the third time. Well, I learned my lesson. They didn't learn any lessons. They do the same thing over and over and over again. That's what they do. So Hakadosh Baruch Hu said, "Yetzer Leiv Ha'adam Ra Minura." Das the Chamesh b'Shagam Huish. That's what a person is. So nothing is going to change. I'll just keep on pushing Control Alt Delete and getting the world deleting. Okay, let's try it again. No. Migdal Bavel. Let's try it again. Like a stone. It's not gonna work. What has to happen is now here's the nekuda that I want to say. Give me a minute for this. Rav Dessler in the Michtam Elio, maybe we'll be zoch on Sunday to learn it inside, but I just want to tell you what he says. He takes this Ramban in Kehillat Bais. He takes the Ramban and he says that here's what he thinks it means. He says what it means is that before the chet of the Eitz Hadas Tov Ra, in quotes in Nefesh Hachaim, it was out there. Now the Ra became part of, in Deslarian language, now the Ra became part of the Ani. That's what I am. Ani it became part of me. Let me put it in my words. I'll go from Deslarian to Heberian. It became part of my psychology. It became part of my mahus, like it became part of my nefesh, my psychology. This is who I am. Now, it doesn't mean it can't be changed, but it doesn't necessarily mean it should be changed. Like this is the way I'm wired, right? This is what I am. So it became part of the internal wiring. It went from being a Windows machine to a Mac. You know the difference, right? All right.
Can you go the other way?
No, Mac is like intrinsic. It's right in there. You know what I'm saying? It's not a program which is Ravia love. It's right in there. It doesn't even need a fan. So it's so cool. Like quote me on that. It's worth $1 million. But what I'm saying is that Rav Dessler understands that what happened with the Eitz Hadas is the person changed. It became Ani. That's his lashon. So let me tell you the chiddush. So this is, I think, we keep talking about the fact, the Ramchal. The Ramchal says that the world was created perfect, man did a chet, now it's going to take 6,000 years to be Masakin, and Mashiach comes, there'll be a tikkun, we're back into Gan Eden. The Mefarshim say, the Ramchal, Reb Tzadok, Nefesh Hachaim, everybody says the same thing. It'll be a little bit better than Gan Eden. Because in Gan Eden, we still had Yetzer Hara, Haraya, from the Eitz Hadas. Whereas in the final tikkun of Tchias HaMesim, the final tikkun, there won't even be that. It won't be even a possibility. It's forever. There's no chance of eating from the Eitz Hadas again. Beseder.
Sounds depressing.
A little bit. So here's the beautiful thing about it. The tikkun is better than the original plan. Because the original plan, we were like the sun and the moon. That's depressing. But that's what it was. Adam didn't want to be depressed. He ate from the Eitz Hadas Tov Ra. The 6,000-year tikkun is not where I'm being masaking that chet. I'm doing tshuva the chet. I'm masaking the ani. In Rav Dessler's language, now man has become, with the tov, and with the ra, and with the Yetzer Hara, and with the ratzon, has become a perfect person. That's an accomplishment. To become the tzaddik that he doesn't. So when it said, the Gemara says HaKadosh Baruch Hu Asad HaKadosh Baruch Hu he's gonna shech the Yetzer Hara. What does that mean? No need. No need for it anymore. Do we become like the Barzili Hagiladi? In a sense, but not because we're old and tired, but because we were kovacious Yitzroi, not because we're old and tired. It's not like the Rambam says the Hilchos Tshuva, like you get a guy's 100 years old, what's he going to do tshuva? What, you don't even feel this urge anymore. You do tshuva, big deal. but the challenge is you'll feel it, but you're kovacious. Or like David HaMelech said, Libi cholol b'kirbi. Libi cholol b'kirbi. I'm complete control. We'll get to a place of l'shma. That's what it means. So it comes out that the chiddush. So let me tell you like a remarkable thing that the Mekubalim say. Mekubalim say that Reb Shimon Bar Yochai hid in a cave for 12 years, as everybody knows, Lag BaOmer. The Arizal says that those years that he was in the cave, he was in the Bechina of a mace. He was covered in dirt. He was being fed by malachim, and he was being taught Torah's aside. He was like an ubar b'meim. He was like a Bechina of mace for 12 years. What's the big mile of being a mace? The big mile of being a mace is that's when the personal tikkun that takes place for all of the struggle which is within us, gets shed when you're a mace. There's no more tov hara, dead. No more ego, you're dead. So he was like dead. difference between him is they had a tchias hamesim. So he came out of the cave. What happened when he came out of the cave? Kol makom ashera miyad nisraf. He looked at the world. A person's doing farming, right? You know, you're meniach chaya olam v'oisik b'chaya shah. Like, what's the matter with you? What was he seeing? He was seeing, a world which was after the Tikkun Lagamri. That's where his heart was. And now he's looking at a world before the Tikkun Lagamri. So what are people doing? They're still being oisik in the curse. They're being oisik. What are you doing? Like why aren't you Geula, Dick? HaKadosh Baruch Hu back into the cave. Back into the cave. Comes out of the cave. It's already my finish. He comes out of the cave. What does he see? He sees the guy running with the Hadassim. And he says, where are you running? I'm going to make Shabbos. Why Hadassim? Echad Keneged Zohar, Echad Keneged Shomer. Whoa. What did he see? He saw Tikkun. He saw that the person is taking his farming. Don't knock it. He's taking his working. He's taking his Hadassim. And his Echad Keneged Zohar, Echad Keneged Shomer. It's all the Shema. It's all for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he became part of the world again. He went back into the cave because the tikkun wasn't done yet. We're holding by, which he was holding by Adam Arishan Koydem Achet. But we went back into the cave to realize that when you come out, we're looking for Adam Arishan Acher Achet and Acher Atikun and Acher Atshuva and after Golus and after wars and after death and after coming to a whole new place where the Hadassim are important. Because as I keep on saying, Olam Haba is an Olam Hazeh. Olam Haba's out there. That's just a tikkun place. This is where the tikkun has to come. We have to have Tchias HaMesim. That's just a temporary holding center out there, wherever that is. That's just for more tikkun. The happening places in this world, and this is the place that's going to go forever. The Olam Haba is we say, oh, he just went to Olam Haba l'netzach. It's a toos. Ain't netzach. Chas v'sholom, that should be a person should die l'netzach, then he's not going to become b'tchias hamesim. Why would we want to wish that? It's wrong. They should take it off all the Kvarim. So the po yanuchel l'netzach nebach. That means he's not come to. May he rest in peace. The whole nakuda is the tikkun. So what's happening over here is that, and I know this is a tangent, but I want to bring out the point clearly. What the Nefesh Hachaim is saying is that kol zman we're here in this world, there's an irvuv of tov v'ra. And kol zman there's an irvuv of tov v'ra. We're not just pushing buttons in Shemayim, but we're struggling to get there, and it's going to take maybe thousands of years to get there until mankind, not just each individual, but mankind gets to the place where we are once again like Adam Arishan Koydem Achet plus. And what's the plus? The plus is before we were Adam Arishan Koydem Achet. Before we didn't have chet because we were like the sun and the moon. And people will look at us, Adam and Chava, and they'll say Kiddush Levan on us. Right? Kiddush Levan. But now, after the chet, after you did Shuvah, after the integration of this world, after going through all of the building of civilization and the purification of the world and Shuvah, so now we're talking about a different kind of an Adam. You're no longer like the sun, you're much higher. And now you can sit back on the Kisei HaKavod. You see? That's the Ani Shabbat. And that's the Uftu, that's Reb Chaim Volozhin said. Then you go to the Tzaddik. You don't have to go to the Tzaddik, because we ourselves will be the Tzaddikim. Maybe there's such a thing as Tzaddikim in the meantime that are already there. Basically, he says no, Kimat no. But that's the alumnus of everything that we're going on. Thank you for listening.